Hey YouTubers, Raven here.
Starfire.
And tonight we're talking about The Flash!
Woohoo! Season 5, Episode 19, Snowpack.
Yeah, it was good. Ooh, hit all the feels.
It did.
I felt sad for a lot of them.
Yeah, me too.
But only sad. I did not cry.
I didn't cry either.
I know. I didn't even get choked up or teary-eyed or nothing.
Me either.
Like, I mean, it was a great episode and it touched all the feels, but it didn't touch hard enough.
It has to be really, really, really moving to touch you hard enough.
It has to be more than that many reallys.
I think, based off what you've told me, I think the only things that have done that to you are animes.
And Tiger Cruise.
Yeah. And Tiger Cruise.
Yeah. Because you get it. Anime finds a way to make you attach so much that when they kill off a character, you care so much.
I just get pissed off if it's a character that I like. I cry sometimes. Like, I cried when Neil died in Once Upon a Time.
I didn't cry. I got close. Like, I felt choked up, but that was it.
Yeah.
Now, I promise y'all that I'm going to end up crying.
Did you cry
Game of
when
Thrones.
Bobby dies? On
No.
Supernatural? But you love Supernatural.
I know. I was wholeheartedly obsessed back then.
You were.
But no. I did not.
I cried.
I promise that if I cry during... okay, I will be crying during this final season
But
of
why? But
Game
why
of
does Game of
Thrones.
Thrones make you cry and other things don't make you
because I'm more
cry?
invested in the characters.
Than you are anything else that we watch.
I'm not... Okay, I'm invested in Caitlyn, not her father.
But you're invested in, like, Sarah and Ava, but you don't cry.
If one of them died, I would!
Okay, I see your point. That's why I don't want to watch Game of Thrones, because I'm going to get attached to characters and then they're going to die.
There's a long stretch of time where no one dies that we care about.
And there's incest, and there's nudity.
Well, that stops! Okay,
And
not
there's
the latter half of that.
And there's
but-
beheading.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's the era in which it was created.
I know, but I don't need to see that all the time.
Oh, no. Just for those 6 seasons. But I am saying this, that if I cry during an episode of Game of Thrones, I will tell you in that week's review. I have yet to see episode 2, so I don't know yet. Probably find out on Supergirl Sunday.
Did you cry in Buffy?
Yes.
The ending?
Yes. I cried at a specific ending.
The last ending of the last season?
I also
The
cried
ending
at
of
the
the
gift.
show?
I also cried during the gift.
Well,
But
yeah,
yes.
I mean, the gift was very, very sad.
Right, but yes, the full ending of the show, the series finale. I cried at the end. I actually didn't just cry at the end. I cried throughout.
Through the whole episode.
Not through the whole thing, but there were moments where I was like, oh, no! Oh! Kills my heart. Thinking about that episode kills me inside.
Well, I'm not there yet, but
I
I'm
know.
almost there.
So
I'm like halfway through. I'm like at episode 14.
Mm-hmm.
So I have like 8 more episodes.
Yeah.
8 or 9 more episodes.
Yeah.
9 if you count
You're gonna be
14.
texting me so much.
If you count 14 then, or if you count episode 14, it's
Right.
Well, I cried when Tommy died on Arrow.
Yeah.
And I was at school, and I had to, like, hold it in because I couldn't cry because it was a public place. And then I went home and watched it again and properly cried. I was so sad because he was, like, my favorite.
Yeah. But, yeah,
and then season 2 of Arrow, remember I was texting you about the finale, and I was like, what the hell is happening?
Yeah.
Freaking Moira died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's cryable stuff for us.
I cry more than you do, though.
You do. Yeah. But, yeah, so this episode obviously didn't make the cut.
I mean, it had its moments,
Yeah.
but I was more, like, kind of indifferent, like, pissed
Right.
off than I was emotional over everything.
Right.
I wasn't really, like, in an emotional place during the episode. I was just like, okay, that's what's happening. Oh, you're gonna say that? You're gonna be this way? Okay.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think I know the name of the next family of Killer Frost. I think it's Absolute Zero.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be Mommy's name.
Because, I mean, they showed the little thing,
Yeah.
and it turned white inside
Yeah.
the biohazard container, so,
Right.
you know, Caitlin doesn't know because she saw it as green before she
Mhm.
threw it in there.
Right. Because it's probably supposed to turn immediately white,
Yeah.
but
But like, I looked at the thing on when Barry saved her, and it was at 98%, which means it got far enough along that she probably got some of the meta
yeah.
in her.
Mm-hmm. Which is probably why it took a while to activate the chemicals.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much, but enough to, you know, make her have abilities and,
yeah,
you know, make her.
It's going to take a lot for those to show.
Yeah.
They're not just going to tease us like that and leave it.
Right.
So
They better not.
It's going to have to do something. It's going to have something to do with Caitlin.
Yeah.
And the mom's going to have a big, huge emotional reaction to it.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, the thing that pissed me off was having her dad come back and then just having him die.
yeah, I saw more in that storyline.
Like, that really pissed me off because I'm like, you know, she hasn't really been around her dad for a long time, and, you know, like, I don't know, it just bothers me when they do that with characters. Like, they bring them back only to, like, kill them off or have them leave again.
Right.
And it's like, if you're gonna do that, just don't bring them back at all.
Yeah.
Just leave them the way that they are. And, you know, have it be some type of closure, have, you know, I don't know, just something happen to where, like, they're okay moving on from whatever happened. And, like, so that, it just bothered me, because it's like she finally got him back and then he dies.
Right.
Because of Grace.
Right.
And I know she's out to get all of the metas
Mm-hmm.
because of what happened to her. But still, like...
Yeah. I mean, the thing that's different with this show than with, like, the cartoons or the comics and stuff is that they would have saved him, but they would have put him in jail for his crimes, and then, like, the evilness may or may not come back, and he'd get freed.
Well, I mean,
And then they go through capturing him all over again. But they don't want to do that in the show.
yeah.
Like, they want to do as much storyline as they can with the character and then get rid of them.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they did kind of do that with Thawne because he's in prison now and he's gonna die and everything.
Right.
But we didn't see that whole thing of, like, him getting put in there. We just know that he's there
Right.
because of the things that he's done.
Yeah, someone finally captured him. I wonder who the poor idiot is that actually captured him. Because how hard would that have been? That would have been extremely difficult.
Yeah.
Jeez. Like, I would not have wanted to be that person, but at the same time, I would have been, because he would have gotten such high praise.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, would be, like, hailed as the most amazing person in the world.
Right.
For doing something Barry couldn't do.
Well, I think it was just that Barry was so upset at Thawne that he just didn't do it. I don't know.
No, he couldn't.
He couldn't. Yeah.
Like, he had no opportunities to.
Mm.
So.
I mean,
That
that opening with Barry and Iris.
Yes. All hail Iris.
I mean, it's not to say that both of them, like he pointed out to her, haven't acted on their emotions.
Right.
Because she has too.
Right.
But he makes a habit of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he does that with everything that affects him that way.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't.
No.
So.
Like, I was just reminded, because I'm watching this, this YouTuber right now, who, records herself watching the show and then goes back through and edits and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But she just got... she's in the middle of the Savitar thing.
Oh.
She hasn't figured out who Savitar is
That
yet.
was season 4, right?
3.
3, okay.
Because he just proposed.
Mm.
And so, in order to save Iris, Barry proposed because she didn't die with a wedding ring on. So, obviously,
Yeah.
right? So he wanted to save her. That was his emotional response, was
Right.
to propose.
Right.
To save her. So even that was based on his emotional response. I mean, eventually she gave the ring back and said, "This isn't gonna work."
Right.
But
they still got married.
Well, yeah, because he proposed later for the right reasons.
Exactly.
And I finally got to Shazam that song. But
random.
Yes. But yeah, like it's finally there, you know.
Yeah.
But it's like we see that.
Was that in the musical episode?
No.
Oh.
That's before. Wait, no. No, that's... He proposed right after he woke up from the musical.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's saying that
for
song.
the, for the singing proposal took place right after the musical.
So that was the song you were talking about?
Mm-hmm. Okay. His proposal song.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
But there we do see him taking emotion.
Right.
And also when he, like Iris pointed out, Flashpoint, like...
And when he just went into the Speed Force and left her.
Yeah. But, I mean, he didn't even have a chance to think about that one.
Yeah, I know.
Like, it was just something
but
that had to be
Flashpoint,
done.
he had a chance to think about.
Yeah.
His only thought in that whole thing was making his parents be alive.
Right.
That was the only thing that he cared about,
Mm-hmm.
was having his parents back.
Yeah. She was like, you ran from me.
Yeah.
You ran from us. You do this all the time.
You do.
And I don't think she really even noticed. Like, I mean, she noticed, but she didn't realize what he was actually doing was running from her in a way. And, like, not sharing his life with her wholeheartedly, like, to the fullest. And it, like, because it was their daughter, their child, it woke her up to the realization, we have not been in this together.
Yeah.
Like, when we were together, we weren't.
Right.
So.
And I mean, you know, like, she was right. Like, you know, I mean, you can't just make a decision like that when it comes to your child without doing it together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is a joint decision.
Right.
That is not a solo decision because, oh, she lied to us for months. I can't trust her. Well, maybe you should think about how your wife feels about that too,
Right.
Barry.
And like Ralph pointed out, you know, we're all one family.
Right. This episode was
So-
very heavily focused on that.
Mm-hmm.
Like the snowpack with Caitlin and her parents, and then the Flash team family,
Mhm.
and Barry and Iris and Nora, and all of it.
The mending of Caitlin and her mom.
Yeah, and the mending of Barry and Iris and that
Mhm.
situation. And, you know, Ralph was really great in this episode. I liked
Yes.
him in this episode a lot.
Yes.
Like, if there's people that still dislike Ralph, I think you need to watch season 5 because I can understand you not liking him so much last season, but he's been a lot better this season. And, I mean, the only reason I could think of for people not liking him is if they haven't watched this season yet.
Mm-hmm.
Because he hasn't done anything, at least in my opinion, that warrants him needing to be disliked as much as he is.
Right. And also, random question. Sorry, I'm breaking from your.
It's
rant.
okay.
What the hell Earth is Cisco on and why?
What did they say he was doing?
All they said was Cisco's on another Earth.
I thought they said he was there doing something, though.
No, they didn't even say what he was doing.
Okay.
They just said he's on another Earth. They didn't even tell us which Earth he was on.
Maybe he's on Earth, too. Because that's where Gypsy is.
No, Gypsy's not on Earth 2. She's on Earth 19.
Well, maybe he's on that Earth, then.
They're not together anymore.
I don't care!
They broke up.
I know, he's with that other girl now.
Which one?
That Asian girl.
Right.
From the bar. I forgot, the
Mhm.
photographer. I forgot her name.
Right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to, like, stereotype or,
It's
say something racial. I can't remember her name. I'm sorry.
Whatever. I mean, if
I
you
know.
can't remember a name, you have to go by description.
Yeah.
Like that one white boy that did this.
I know, I just don't want to offend anyone.
But yeah, like they didn't say Cisco was going anywhere. And they, like, in any of the previous episodes.
Yeah.
And they didn't say why he went
maybe
there.
Maybe they're just setting it up for him,
When he leaves.
For when he leaves.
Yeah. But he's got a girlfriend.
That doesn't matter. Characters leave shows all the time without endgaming the couples.
Well, I mean, he doesn't have to endgame, but they'd have to break up over something logical.
Yeah. Or maybe she'll go with him. Maybe they'll go off somewhere and
On another Earth.
yeah, and she'll get to be a photographer and he'll get to do what he wants to do. And yeah.
I found this Earth where you died but had a very famous photography career. So, if we go there and say you faked your death, you'll be famous.
I mean,
Uh,
anything can happen with this show.
Yeah.
It can be the most preposterous thing.
Right. But then again, she also doesn't know about Team Flash.
Yeah, she doesn't.
So that could be the breaker. But we don't know yet. Because he hasn't told her.
Mm-hmm. But I like what Ralph said to Sherlock, like, you know, because he was going to leave. Because,
Mhm.
and it wasn't that, like, they wanted him to leave. They just didn't want him to be involved in every aspect of it.
Right. Like, you
Because
did enough for the moment. Like,
Yeah.
go away for a bit.
Like, this is something we're dealing with.
right.
I
Go
mean,
take a break.
of course, the line about the family would hurt because
Mhm.
he feels like he's part of it.
Right.
And saying that he's not would be hard
Mm-hmm.
and make him want to leave. But I'm glad that Ralph was like, you know, you helped us when we needed it.
Mhm.
And, you know, there's more for you to do for this family.
For your family.
Yeah, for your family.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, I've really enjoyed this episode.
And Vaughn cares
Cares
about
about
Nora.
Nora. in the same manner that Barry does.
Yeah, and I think he also, like you were saying, knows how powerful she is and how powerful she can become. And
It scares him.
yeah,
Yeah.
because she can become even more powerful than Barry.
Mm-hmm. Because even though it was only for a moment, Iris had powers.
Yeah.
And Nora has her purple
Mm-hmm.
and Barry's yellowish red.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, that means that she has the product of both Flashes,
Mm-hmm.
of Iris Flash and of Barry.
Yeah,
So that means she's a product of two speedsters.
right.
So
So she has more power than Barry does.
Mhm. I mean, he's got he came from a direct access point,
Yeah.
but also, I mean, being born with it, even though she wasn't able to use it, she was born with this power. So I think being born with it makes you stronger than the
Mhm.
person who received it.
Right.
So, because it's built into your DNA, it doesn't change your DNA.
Yeah.
Because it was there from the start.
Right.
So I think that makes it more powerful. And Eobard was, he wasn't born with it either. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Because, I mean, he kept having this, like, smirk on his face.
Right.
You know?
But, like, I don't know. Like,
I mean,
It
I don't
just-
know what direction they're going to go with Nora now.
mm-hmm.
Like,
Well, I mean, they're doing, like, this all girls bad guy team up next
Yeah,
episode.
it's called Gone Rogue.
Mm-hmm.
And all because Barry didn't show up with Iris,
even if you did.
it brought out that side of her.
Even if you did show up, I don't think it would have mattered at that point. I think she needs to go through this.
Yeah.
But it on not this week's episode, but last week's episode of Arrow,
Mm-hmm.
we had the Birds of Prey episode, in which, since they can't use Birds of Prey,
It just makes me think of Star Trek because the Klingon vessel's a bird of prey.
well, Birds of Prey is it's an old TV show that dealt with the same things.
I've never heard of that TV show.
You can get it on Netflix, only through DVDs.
Mm.
And it's really hard to find. You can't really find it anywhere. Except on Netflix DVDs. But
Was it a cartoon?
No. Live action. And I think it was like 2 seasons. 1 or 2 seasons. But it was kind of horribly done, but also amazingly done for the time period.
Mm-hmm.
It had its good moments and its bad moments.
It was 2002.
Yeah. They should have been able to do better, but it was a comic book show, so the money wasn't there.
Yeah.
But I loved it. A lot of people didn't. Now it's become like this cult thing. Yes. And in that it was an all-female team.
Mm-hmm.
So you had Black Canary and Oracle, and so instead of Oracle, we had Overwatch, and we had a Black Canary. We had 2 Black Canaries and White Canary, because Sarah made a guest appearance.
Yeah.
So we had 3 Canaries and an Overwatch.
Mm-hmm.
So since they couldn't use the term Birds of Prey, because I think they were working on like a thing for birds of prey.
I mean, it's
Um,
also used in Star Trek, so.
Well, that doesn't matter. They made a TV show based off of it.
I know, and it doesn't
So-
have anything to do with that. It's
Right.
completely
So
different.
Star Trek has no like terms of use
Yeah.
for the words or anything. But they couldn't say birds of prey, so she was like, birds of justice. It's like, But the point is that it was an all-girls team-up
Yeah.
of good guys, and this is going to be an all-girls team-up of bad guys,
Right.
seeing as Nora is now evil.
Quote unquote.
Right. And, for the life of me, I'm drawing a blank, because I know that there's, like, a faction, like a small little group of evil girls that get together sometimes, and I think they have a group name. And
If
I
anybody
can't
knows what that is,
Yes.
you can tell us in the
comments
comments
below.
or Twitter.
Yeah.
Probably the comments would be better.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to like name drop that as like when they're in their little group.
Maybe.
Because Rogue is just like going back to like the Flash's Rogue gallery,
Right.
in which like it's all of his villains.
I mean, it makes sense that
So-
like they would be called, canary, black canary, white canary, because canaries are birds and stuff,
Mhm.
and be like bird of justice or birds of,
Yeah.
whatever.
Right. So they wanted to keep birds, but they couldn't
Right.
do birds of prey.
Yeah.
Yeah. They might bring birds of prey over to Batwoman though.
Mm. I mean, makes sense. Bats are a type of, not really a bird, but
they're wings.
they have wings. They're winged creatures.
Yeah. But it would make sense for a bird of prey type thing to take place on Batwoman,
Yeah.
because the main girl in Birds of Prey, the show, was
Batwoman.
no.
Oh.
Batwoman wasn't really a thing in it. It was Bruce Wayne's and Catwoman's daughter. So it was the
Selena
It was
Kyle.
It was Batman's daughter, so
Yeah, because I saw the little like tagline thing and it said she's all grown up or whatever.
mhm. Yeah, she saw her mommy die, just like he did. But yeah, so
Yeah.
it was. So it's like it would make sense, bring it back to the Bat family.
I think they just call the ship that on Star Trek because it literally looks like a bird. I don't know. I just know it's called the Bird of Prey.
Right. But yeah, so the fact that he I don't know, just Eobard having those types of feelings at all just like surprises me. And I love the fact that he went through his history with her.
Yeah.
Like I was the biggest fan.
Right.
And because
Like,
I don't
he
think we ever
idolized
got
him.
that. I don't
Right.
think he ever told anyone.
No, I don't think so either.
So I think that's the first time he's actually telling his origin.
Right.
And that to me is amazing that we've waited this long and that it was actually said. And that it was the correct origin. Because we
Yeah.
all know how much they like to switch things around and F things up.
Mm-hmm.
But to have it be the correct origin for the correct reverse Flash,
Right.
that's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's about time. He's gonna die, so what better time
Less
for
than
him?
10 minutes now.
What better time for him to share his origin story than then, right?
Yeah. Many years to come. In your far distant future, I will be born, and I will become obsessed with your father.
Yeah. So, I mean, like you said, I think Nora does need to, like, kind of deal with this and go through it and, hopefully, like, she'll come out of it being better, like a better person. I
Right.
don't know, and
Probably more emotionally stable.
right.
One would hope.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder if she's going to stick around for next season.
Mhm.
Probably not. So she's probably going to say goodbye for good soon. But, it's never actually for good.
Right.
Now I'm thinking of the song. But,
Me too.
because she's a speedster, she can come back at any time.
Yeah. And I mean, we still haven't seen Iris actually pregnant or like having
Mhm.
them. So, I mean, we're like we could still see that on the show.
Right, but I mean, chronologically,
Right.
she wouldn't be pregnant yet.
Yeah,
If she was pregnant now, it wouldn't be Nora.
I know.
So if she got pregnant before Crisis, it's not going to be Nora.
Yeah, and be the twins.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And the Crisis isn't going to happen till next fall.
No.
When the crossover is.
Mm-hmm.
Which is going to end Arrow.
Yeah.
So.
It's going to be good, though.
It is going to be good, but Arrow will be gone.
Yeah, and Batwoman to take his place. But yeah,
I mean, I liked it. I thought they did a really good job of executing like all of the family stuff, and
they did.
the only thing that bothered me was like the thing with her dad, pretty much.
Right.
Like I said, I hate when they do that.
But it also brought it all around. I think that if he didn't die like that, then his final words wouldn't have been as poignant.
True.
And it wouldn't have hit Barry as hard as they
Yeah,
did.
I mean, I agree with that. It's just I don't like the way that it had to happen.
Right.
So.
Well.
Yeah.
So I guess
until
next time,
keep
keep believing in the impossible.